don't send your job CV to RICS.
Yes.
Because that does not fit the purpose, right?
Yes.
It should say showcase yourself about your experience and relevant thing, but you should not be putting all these career objectives and all those things on top of the CV.
Yes. If you are passionate, you can go anywhere and achieve.
You can do it.
At any age, you can start off.
Yes, I mean, until you go to your grave, you keep on learning.
You have the opportunity to learn.
Exactly.
What makes yours different from others? Why would somebody come to yours?
Right. Okay, thank you for asking that. All right. In terms of my coaching, is that I focus on one-on-one coaching.
Okay, so you sit with each of them?
Exactly. On a weekly basis,
Wow.
all the candidates will have a dedicated slot, 1 hour slot.
You spend that one-on-one with them at least once a week?
Once a week.
Wow. Do you have a filtration process? Do you ask them a few questions to make sure that they are right fit for your coaching program?
Where the candidate should at least have 10 plus years of experience.
Okay.
At the end of the day, the experience matters.
Yes.
Right? It's
Yes.
not all what you have learned in theories.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
In the industry, I can give advice only within my roles and responsibilities.
Yes.
Then don't consider yourself a chartered surveyor. Right? It's just not say, okay, I'm a contractor, I know only this, but this question is not relevant to me, I'm sorry. No, it's not the case, right?
Yes, yes.
So as long as you are serving the profession, you need to have that, the competence.
Competence to really give that,
Exactly.
right?
If you
Yes.
search APC coaching in Google, APC
It
coaching
comes up
top at the top.
first,
Yeah.
right?
So-
That was an amazing marketing strategy
Correct,
as well,
exactly.
right? Because it comes with the word. Your website itself is APC coaching, and anybody wants to search for APC coaching, I think that comes up first
Correct.
always. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Bilna Sandeep Show. Today on the show, before I introduce the guest to you, a lot of people ask me, when you see my name on LinkedIn, you see Bilna Sandeep MRICS, and you're like, what is MRICS? So to those of you who are not from construction industry, MRICS stands for, because I'm a chartered surveyor, so we say member of Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors. So now, today I have someone on our show who is a senior chartered surveyor and also the founder of apccoaching.me. Welcome to the show, Roshan.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being on our show, and you have flown down all the way from Oman to our show, and really I'm very grateful to have you here on our show.
It's a pleasure.
So Roshan, for our listeners, especially those who do not come from construction industry, right? When I say to my friends and family itself, when I used to work as a quantity surveyor, when I say quantity surveyor, okay, are you somebody who just takes quantities, maybe counting the rebars, counting how many bags of cement you need?
Correct.
So that's a misconception people have. So would you like to tell our listeners what actually a quantity surveyor is and what is their role?
All right. So to start with, Bilna, to have the fundamentals of quantity surveying. Back in the day, the quantity surveying was, yes, it's counting the quantities and
Yes.
preparing bill of quantities. And
It was like a
it's just
quantity engineer kind of
as
thing,
a kind
right?
of quantity engineer kind of role. But when it comes for the industry, where the industrial revolution was concerned,
Yes.
the quantity surveyors role was diverse. Right, where the routes were running through in different areas, such as the procurement, contracts, the financial reporting, and when it comes for other areas, like even under the legal concepts.
Yes.
So now the term quantity surveying is just not representing the quantity
element
itself,
of it. Yes.
right? It is far more beyond that point, where the industry demands
Yes.
that the quantity surveyor should have all those fundamental knowledge over and above their basic role of taking off quantities.
Taking of quantity. So I think when I served as a quantity surveyor probably 12 years, and in that, maybe in the first 6 months of my career, I have taken quantities, and
Exactly.
I've never done that after
So
that.
do I.
So and then when people ask me, are you so good at maths? Are you that person? I'm like, no, that's not my role. I am in the commercial and contract side, and people
Correct.
are not even aware of this industry. And now to add to it, chartered surveyor. They're like, okay, we don't even know what a quantity surveyor is. Now, what is a chartered quantity surveyor? So do you want to share about that as well?
Yes. Now, when it comes for the chartered quantity surveying designation, you can get in different ways.
Yes.
One is that in your, like when you're representing your country, you have your own institution of country chartered institutions, such as when I'm coming from Sri Lanka, where you have the Institute of Quantity Surveyors Sri Lanka, where that is also a chartered designation.
Okay.
And when it comes to global representation, you have the platform called MRICS, which we also call as you introduced yourself as well as myself. So the member of Royal Institution of Chartered Service.
Yes.
So that is a global forum where it accreditates the quantity surveyors that they pose the right knowledge in terms of various aspects, and they are fit into the construction industry in order to provide professional service. So that is where a traditional quantity surveyor is distinguished from a chartered quantity surveyor.
Exactly. So when you're hiring a chartered surveyor, you know that they come with this expertise. Correct. It's more like a validation of what expertise they have.
Exactly.
Right? And now, if I were a young QS, if I were looking at becoming a chartered QS, what is the procedure? What do I do? Because every time on LinkedIn, I get this message, people asking, you're an MRICS. How do I become an MRICS? So what is that procedure?
Well, it all depends on your enthusiasm and then your devotion in terms of becoming a chartered quantity surveyor. To start with, obviously, you need to get in touch with RICS. Just dropping an email to them, and by attaching your CV and your academic qualification. I believe that RICS is the right body to advise you, which is the right pathway suits to you, right? Rather, you go into different, personnel and ask, and this is what I have, can you advise me what is the right path for me? But I would always suggest, even
to go directly from the RICS.
Yes, just I would always suggest, please get clarified by RICS, because they are the right people to help you choose. Yes,
right. Even though you are somebody into coaching people for RICS, you believe that it is the best if you go by the institution and ask them what is the right pathway for you and the right steps for you, right? And now there are different pathways available, right? So if you look at different modes of pathways, what is a realistic expectation one can have on how long will I take for me to apply to become a chartered surveyor?
It all depends on the route that you have been provided to get your chartership. Now you have the 24-month structured training route, which will ideally take 2 to 2.5 years to get your MRIC status, and there is 12-month structured training, and there is preliminary assessment route.
Yes.
That is also almost a year and a half.
Yes.
And then you have the direct entry, whereas you just enroll it and then you just go and face your final interview.
Direct entry is for very senior roles, probably, right?
Well, not really. Now, in case that you have an accredited degree and then you have 10 plus years of experience,
then you can go by the direct
so you enroll, say for example, you enroll 2 months before the intended interview date. Intended submission date. So still you can face the upcoming APC.
For you to go. And RICS is the right body to tell you which route to go by as well, right? Yeah. They were based on your CV and your professional experience that you share with them, and your educational qualifications. So these are the two sides, education and the professional experience, right? Yeah.
So I would, sorry for interrupting. Yes. So I would always advise for all those who are inquiring from me, right? I would say don't send your job CV to RICS.
Yes.
Because that does not fit the purpose, right?
Yes.
It should say showcase yourself about your experience and relevant thing, but you should not be putting all these career objectives and all those things on top of the CV, which does not add any value to your requirement.
Yes.
So always try to customize your CV that suits.
It's not a job application.
It's not a job application. So you need to understand that you are sending to a professional body.
Yes.
For them to understand and advise you what is the right pathway. Yes. Yeah, that's how we should.
It's more about making it very clear for them. These are the companies I've worked in. This is the number of years I've worked, and this is the role I had in those companies, and this is my educational qualification. So these things, right?
Yes.
And it's not just a copy paste which you do with all the job applications.
Exactly.
It should be a customized CV and a customized email that you're sending to RICS saying you're interested to apply for it, right? Got it. And now, again, once you are into the process of application, there is a lot of jargons involved, like CPD. You will also hear about terms like case studies, summary of experience, and some people are very scared to approach, saying, oh my God, there is so much of submissions, what should I do? So can you simplify it for us? What are these things?
Right. Now, I would put it this way. Now, RICS uses three documentation, I would say.
Yes.
One is a case study, second one is a summary of experience, and the third one is the CPD records. And on top of it, you need to complete the ethics module.
Yes.
Yeah. So leaving ethics module aside, now when it comes for the case study, the case study is nothing but it's a document that RICS uses to understand whether the candidate has the right knowledge. He does have the analytical thinking,
Yes.
and as well as he has the right decision-making ability. So that is basically what the case study does.
Okay.
Right. On top of it, when it comes for the summaries of experience, it's a matter of showcasing of your expertise in your areas on the given competence areas.
Yes.
So it's nothing really rocket science.
Complicated or
It's not
anything.
complicated. As long as you know the fundamentals of it, it's just you crack on it.
Yes.
The only the hurdle that you will be having is that to find the right case.
To find the right case study that can establish or that can show
Exactly.
your skill or show your
Correct.
expertise, right?
So basically, in terms of my APC coaching,
Yes.
what will happen is like to find the right case study. Sometimes we may spend sometimes 3 to 4 weeks, right?
To identify the right case to
correct.
approach.
So we have to consider different options. Whether it's viable or it's not viable. Sometimes by the face of it, even though we consider as a case, but when we go into the depths of it,
it may not be a real good case study.
Yeah. So again, back to square one. Right. It is not a matter of spending time to find a right topic that fits into you. It will help you out in a greater way because you are finding a case study. It is within your control.
Yes.
Right.
Because
Rather
you have already been involved in that project and you have done the work already.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly.
Right.
And the other constraint that you will have is that the case study should be within 24 months.
Yes.
Right. From the submission date,
So
you
this
have to calculate
incident
24
should have happened in the last 24 months.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the case study should be demonstrated within 3,000 words. So these are the real challenges that the candidates should have. But however, with all the right knowledge you'll have, how you are approaching and the right coaching that you get
Yes.
from your counselor or the mentor, achieving this target is
not so
hard.
Right. Okay. And what is the challenge that you have seen most of the candidates that come to you face? Like, what do they come the most commonly asked question by them on?
What I get quite a common question is like, most of the candidates come where their primary profession was not quantity surveying, and then they have switched in a later day, right, for various reasons. But what I tell my candidates, even though I'm if you consider me, my historical background, I come with a management background.
Okay.
All right. So I'm a management graduate. So I have I have a bachelor's in business administration.
Okay.
So on a later day I switched into quantity surveying. So here I am. Right.
Yes.
This is your prime example. Right.
Yes.
If you have the right dedication and then you have that enthusiasm to get into this qualification, even if I wanted to become a chartered accountant one fine day, if I have that enthusiasm
you have that aptitude also
exactly,
to run into it, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Then definitely you can.
Yes, it's all about the work you put in.
Exactly.
It's like if you are passionate, you can go anywhere and achieve.
can do it.
At any age, you can start off.
Yes, I mean, until you go to your grave, you keep on
have
learning.
the opportunity to learn.
Exactly.
Amazing. And I think that is one good thing about being a chartered surveyor. Every year you're supposed to complete your CPD, which is again a continuous learning,
Correct.
right? And now I want to ask you a few other aspects like now I have started running my own business, right? So I go to a lot of networking events because that is how I get my clients and I get my visibility in the industry. But while we were focused on career, while I was in the as working, at that time I was not really into a lot of networking events because I never knew that, right? But unknowingly I was actually doing it when I went for the APC coaching and all, when I was meeting a lot of people that way and I was learning through all of them, and it was opening different doors for me, which I didn't know at that time. It was networking that I was doing. So what is your take on that? How important is it for professionals to network so that they can grow in their career?
Yes. Now, the thing is like if you are, for example, if we were back in our own countries,
Yes.
the network opportunities was very less, right?
Yes.
Where the industry professionals don't blend each other.
Yes.
Right now, when it comes for a diverse environment such as in Dubai or in the
Yes.
Middle East in common,
Well, all
Yeah.
the cultures and all the
cultures
countries
will come together, and you will meet different people and different professionals with their own
Yes.
expertise, right? So when you are growing up in your career, it's always advisable that you have the proper networking, get their knowledge to you, their experience, and then that is where you start to learn, right?
Yes.
It's not from the books, it's
Yes.
not from what you learned in your university, not what you learned in
Yes.
school,
Yes.
right? So all comes with practical exposure,
Yes.
right? So that will help in a greater way in order to enhance your
Your own
professional
career,
move.
right?
Exactly.
And it's always getting to learn from others who's been through your journey, maybe who's already ahead of you, and you get to learn through them as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? And now when it comes to your APC coaching, the particular platform which you are running, there are also a lot of other coaching platforms here in the Middle East, right? What makes yours different from others? Why would somebody come to yours?
Right. Okay. Thank you for asking that. All right. Let me put it this way. Now, when it comes for achieving your chartered status, obviously the candidate requires more interaction with their counselors, right?
Yes.
As you know, like the counselors are also busy.
They're also working professionals.
The working professionals. We cannot blame them also because they have to balance the work-life pressure
Yes.
as well, right? So only when they have some time, they will be allowing
able to review everything for them, right?
Okay. Now, in terms of my coaching, is that I focus on one-on-one coaching.
Okay, so you sit with each of them
Exactly. On a weekly basis,
Wow.
all the candidates will have a dedicated slot, 1 hour slot. It depends. Sometimes it's half an hour. It could be 1 hour. It depends on the preference of the candidate.
Okay. But you
so
spend that one-on-one with them at least once a week.
once a week.
Wow.
Yeah. And on top of it, I believe this is the first coaching program in the Middle East which introduced one-on-one coaching, where
Very
you will
nice.
have the other coaching sessions which you have mass crowds, mass gathering.
Yes.
It's the model of
Not all your questions are always answered, probably, right?
yeah,
When
exactly.
You are in that
The other
group.
thing is that in most of the circumstances, the mentor always try to interact with mass audience.
Yes.
And then the interaction between the candidates is very less.
Yes.
Right, so that is one of the drawbacks that all other
Coaching programs
programs
that
have. But in terms of my coaching program, I enroll only a very limited number of candidates,
so that you can meet them once a week.
exactly.
Right?
So it's a maximum of say 25 to 30 at a max
at a
per
time.
season.
Yes.
So I have the CPT session running on a weekly basis.
So those are the group or the CPT sessions that happen.
Yeah, that was a group.
Yes. And then additionally they get that one-on-one as
coaching.
well.
And then the one-on-one coaching is nothing but we discuss about the case study, summary of experience, and any other areas where the candidate feels they are lagging of their knowledge and the understanding. This is the platform for them to come up with the questions.
Yes.
So that they can clarify
all
with the
their
mentor.
particular doubts.
Exactly.
So now we said there are different routes to go, right? Like if it's a preliminary route, it might take you around 1.5 years. So your coaching program, when is the right point for them to come to you? Is it after they first enroll with RICS, or is it before? When is the right time for them to come?
So my coaching program, when it comes for the preliminary assessment route, I would consider that it's the longest route.
Yes.
But still you have this 12-month and 24-month structured route.
Yes.
So I would say 1 year before the intended submission date.
Intended submission means the preliminary submission or the final submission.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's the right time to step into the coaching.
Oh, amazing. And when they first come to you, right, do you have a filtration process? Do you ask them a few questions to make sure that they are right fit for your coaching program? Or how is that process? Or do you guide them on it?
I'm very... so basically when I run a filtration process, similar to the selective tendering process.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't involve all the candidates for my coaching program. I have set a prerequisite where the candidate should at least have 10 plus years of experience for them to enroll with the coaching program.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, the experience matters.
Yes.
Right? It's not all what you have learned in theories.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because in if you consider the Middle Eastern region, Bilna, it is one of the region where you have the least passing rate.
Okay.
All right, as compared with the other regions.
Other regions.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think is that the reason?
Well, there are a couple of reasons. One is that the industry demands that even you just randomly search for a quantity survey, even they ask for a junior quantity survey, they demand that that quantity survey should have MRICS.
Okay.
Right. So which is not the case. Right. So
yes.
the HR should also understand
what this industry is really, right?
So this industry chaos has created that by hook or crook,
everybody is under the pressure to
have the MRICS status,
okay.
but which is not the case, right?
Okay.
So if you produce somebody who's premature to the industry, how does this person having this MRICS status would go and represent the industry?
Yes.
Right. It's not all about
it's like too much pressure on people to just get it, maybe because they don't really want it, but it's because the job descriptions always ask for a chartered surveyor.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you can't perform, what I always tell to my candidate, if you are within your comfort zone and you say, in the industry I can give advice only within my roles and responsibilities,
yes,
then don't consider yourself a chartered surveyor.
You have to be open to that whole wider approach of being a chartered surveyor.
For example, if a client comes to you and you work as a contractor and ask you an advice, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's not really required that you need to know about the depths of it, but you need to have that
professionalism to actually approach the case, whatever that is.
So
right?
you need to look into the problem by stepping into the client's shoes,
yes,
isn't it? Right? It's just not say, okay, I'm a contractor, I know only this, but this question is not relevant to me, I'm sorry. No, it's not the case, right?
Yes, yes.
So as long as you are serving the profession, you need to have that, the competence
to really give that,
exactly.
Right? Now you have opened up a huge new question for us. See, in this industry, like when people are looking for RICS, they ask me, like, you know what, if I become a MRICS, will I get a better job opportunity? Will my career transform the next day I get an RICS title? So is it really about the title or is it the experience? So,
okay. I used to mention to all of my candidates, right? Even recently now, this during this period we are undertaking all the Q&A sessions.
Yes.
I always tell the candidate is that the hard work that you put into this process, you will put forward you 6 years ahead.
Yes.
Right? So for example,
the
you are
whole
spending
grooming that goes through the process,
so,
right?
After you get your MRICS, obviously you are a new person.
Yes.
Right, you are carrying that burden of MRICS. I would say not a burden actually. It's
the title of
the MRICS. It's not easy to maintain.
Yes.
There are certain things that you need to follow. If you can't, as I told before, if you can't demonstrate yourself by even you are achieving MRICS, that means
not a
it
point.
Doesn't. Yeah. Even you are MRICS, don't consider you are MRICS.
Right.
Because you don't fit into the role.
Right, and since you already touched about that hiring process as well, right? Now, myself putting into the shoes of a business owner. So, for example, if I'm running a contracting company, or I run a consulting, or I am a developer, so would it be better for me to hire somebody who's having like maybe 5 to 10 experience, but they come with an RICS title, MRICS, or a 25 years experienced senior QS who doesn't have an RICS title?
Well, I will put it this way: there are candidates who are young bloods,
yes,
right? So they are very passionate, out of the box thinkers.
Yes,
very eager to learn. They understand the depths of the problem, and there are people who are experienced and they are stagnated into one particular area, and then they don't want to step out of their comfort zone.
Yes.
Now, if I look into the problem, if I have two options,
yes,
whether I have a young blood with a MRICS, a chartership, and any other professional accreditation, as compared with one who has extensive amount of experience in the industry, but he stagnated to his own comfort zone, obviously my choice will be for the young blood. Yeah, because obviously the contribution to a business unit is much more from a young blood as compared with one who is stagnated within his comfort zone.
Yes. So it's more like the ROI that I get as a business when I hire
Correct.
a person, right? Got it. Roshan, I have seen that on your apccoaching.me portal, there is an option for CPDs, right? Online purchase option I have seen. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
To touch about the APC portal,
Yes.
I mean, it was it was not a case to start up a portal.
Okay.
Before it was a case that I was only focusing on one-on-one coaching.
Okay.
Right. I just don't want to do any CPD sessions, and
Yes.
I thought it's on in the industry. You have thousands of coaching sessions
Yes.
for CPD sessions. Anyone would like to join them,
Yes.
and then if you want a personalized coaching session, they can come
To you.
finding me.
Yes.
But soon I identified that the candidates does not have the right knowledge to blend
There
with
was
the
a lot
coaching
of gap.
Yes, the knowledge gap. So what I did is that I started the coaching program.
Okay.
And one of the hurdles that I found is that because of this work loads and the personal commitments, some of the candidates do not turn up to the CPD sessions.
Okay.
Right. This is where it prompted me to open up APC coaching portal,
Amazing.
where you will have the recorded CPD sessions.
Okay, so you give them the option to attend live, and if not, it will be recorded and
Recorded,
available
yes.
on the portal.
Correct. So the other thing is that APC portal is one of its kind, that all the resources
Yes.
is available in one single platform.
Oh, amazing.
Right. So for example,
so
if
you have organized into topic wise,
Exactly.
competencies wise.
Correct. So if
right?
you say, for example, if it is contract administration and practice, which is contract practice is one of the core units
Yes.
in quantity surveying and construction pathway. If you had visited my portal, you can see the contract practice and administration competency itself. The CPD hours is almost 10 hours.
Yes.
Right. Whereas the other CPD sessions you get in the industry, it's limited for 3 hours.
Yes. Yes.
At a max, maybe 5 hours.
Yes.
But when it comes for the CPD sessions that I do, I want to do it extensively. The reason is that I don't want my candidate to know only the basics.
They
should know the depths of it.
everything in depth,
Yeah.
right?
So APC portal was one of the outcomes of that thought process.
Okay.
Now it is benefiting in a greater scale, where if they want to again recall what we discussed, again they can go
just
back.
go back and
and then,
play the video again.
And the videos are not available for downloading, but
Okay.
you can view it
You can
online.
always
But
view
the
online.
materials are always available for downloading.
Nice.
Uh,
Is it available for those outside your coaching program?
at the moment, no. But for those who have coached under me and then they have got their RICS status, they will be having a complimentary access for a period of a year.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so
that's nice.
every now and then they wanted
So
to join.
anytime they want to upgrade or they want to learn more or they want to just go back and brush the skills, they can always come back to
use the
you on
APC
platform.
portal.
That's amazing. I think while we were preparing for our RICS, right, I think one challenge we used to have was not having enough CPD sessions everywhere. Like, I know there are now more online options were there. At that time, it was quite less. So now I think this is a very good option for a lot of them, the convenience. And I think you can offer it for everybody in the middle. I think your students are all coming
the
from
next
all over
move
the
would be
world,
this,
right?
Because the portal itself, I am up to this coaching session is around 1.5 years now.
Oh, very nice. Yes.
So over the period of 1.5 years, one of the greatest inventions that I made is this APC portal. Right, it is benefiting in a greater scale to all my candidates, and also those who had already qualified in their the charterships. So I'm glad that
and anywhere in the world they can watch
Correct.
it from, right? Anyone watching from probably India or Sri Lanka or Europe or Australia, everybody has access to that platform.
Yeah, just to substantiate that my argument, what is the popularity of APC portal? If you search APC coaching in Google, APC coaching top at the top,
right? So that was an amazing marketing strategy as well,
exactly.
right? Because it comes with the word. Your website itself is APC coaching, and anybody wants to search for APC coaching, I think that comes up first always.